Hello everyone, I hope you're well. I'm back with another tips and tricks video, and this time all about cosplay makeup. I'll be sharing my favourite tips as I get into my makeup for a casual Aloy. I'll be starting with a primer, and this is really good for conventions or long photo shoots just because it helps keep your makeup looking nice and helps it stay on longer. Depending on how my skin is going, I'll vary between how much foundation and concealer I use, but I will always powder my face, especially if I have a long convention coming up. One of my favourite things to do with eyeshadow is take inspiration from the character's clothing and use that on my eyes. Don't be afraid to play around with this and see what you can come up with. Don't forget to bring the colour down to your lower lash line, and darkening up the crease in your eyes can give more depth. I like to use a fluffy brush to blend out the eyeshadow. If you're like me and struggle getting both eyes to be even with eyeliner, using a little bit of tape to mask off a section of your eye is really fantastic. Do keep in mind that characters have different eye shapes depending if they're from games or anime, and just do your best to replicate that as well. Cotton buds will be your best friend, so use that to clean up any spillage and then just dab a little bit more eyeshadow over the top of it. Contouring the face can be a little bit intimidating, especially between female and male face shapes. Here's a little diagram you can use, but there's also a lot of tutorials online and other images you can find easily. I tend to start with a soft grey colour and use that to contour my face. I usually begin by sculpting out my nose and adding a bit of depth to my eyes, and then I'll move on to my cheekbones, my jawline, and also my forehead. Just remember that although your makeup may look a little bit extreme in person, it'll be perfect for the camera and it will match your cosplay nicely. The amount of blush you use and the colour will depend on your character. For a cuter character, you tend to do it a little bit below the cheek, and for a mature character, you go a little bit above the cheekbone. I also like to bring it over my nose, especially for characters that are a little bit more sun-kissed. You can use a setting powder to blend it out a little bit more and make it look a bit more natural. And then here I'm just going in with a little bit of bronzer to just sharpen up my face a little bit and add a bit more of a sun-kissed look. There are a bunch of different ways to do freckles, however this is the way I tend to do just because it is the easiest for me. I'll start off with a thin brush and use a dark brown eyeshadow and dot this all over my face. I then go and blend them out with the brush and then go in with one more layer of freckles just to add some darker spots. Some people prefer to keep their eyebrows looking natural, however I like matching mine to the wig that I'll be using for the costume. There are a lot of different tutorials for covering your eyebrows. One of the most popular ones is using a simple glue stick and then using foundation and powder over the top. My eyebrows aren't that thick or dark, however, so if I need to lighten them, I'll just use a bit of white eyeliner pencil, put that over, brush it out, and then put the desired colour on top. A character's eyebrows can say a lot about their personality, depending on how straight they are or how angled they are. Male eyebrows tend to be a little bit thicker and sit closer together, so that's something you can keep into consideration when cosplaying a male character. I usually start with a lighter colour, and then in this instance I'm adding some darker browns just to give it a bit more depth. False lashes are one of my favourite things to use, especially for female characters, and there are a large variety of ones that you can choose from. I know that fake lashes can be quite uncomfortable, so you can always cut them in half and then just put them near the edge of your eye. Placing the lashes more downwards on your eye can make you look soft and tired, however keeping them quite pointed can give a sharp look. I then use a little bit of black eyeliner to just touch up the lashes. Using a black mascara, I blend my lashes into the false lashes and also put some on my lower lashes. I refer back to my character's eye shape and then I add a bit of a dark brown to my lower lash line and then go in with a black eyeliner as well. This can help make your eyes look smaller or larger depending on the look that you're going for. It's also really useful to use a bit of white eyeliner on the inner edges of your corner. It just makes them pop a little bit more and looks fabulous in photos. If you're going for a cuter character, a little bit of pink eyeshadow on the lower lash line can really soften up your eyes. It's time for the wig now, and I have very long and thick hair, so I tend to just plait it all the way down on both sides, flip them over my head and then pin them down. I'm using a nude wig cap because my wig is quite light, so I'll just plop that on and then put on my wig. Don't be afraid to play around with your wig a little bit when you first put it on. I know that mine always needs some adjustments, but once I give it a bit of time and mess around with it, it'll look more natural and sit nicely. Because my Alo wig is a lace front, I'm just using a little bit of hairspray to stick it down. You can also use some lash glue or spirit gum or whatever adhesive you have at hand that's safe to use. Long wigs can be really annoying, and so I like to pin back a little bit on the sides or even tie up a little bit if I can get away with it for the character. The way I do my lips will also depend greatly on the character. For male characters, I tend to add some concealer to my lips, or you can even use a nude lipstick. I'll just blend it out and then use a bit of setting powder to set it. My other go-to lip combination is using a fairly natural colour that's close to my own, and then using a bright pink in the centre and either blending that out with my fingers or going back over with the lip colour that's close to my own. If you don't want it to be as vibrant, you can just put a piece of tissue between your lips, press down, and ta-da! Once my wig is properly on, I'll just go back in and have a look at the rest of my makeup. I'll see what maybe I need to highlight or exaggerate a little bit more. Basically, it's any other touch-ups that will make me look more like the character. Finally, I'll use a setting spray. Ow! Ah, don't bite me! I'll finish it off with a setting spray, especially if the conventional photo shoot is going to be really hot. For simple scars or scratches, I like to use a light pink lip liner and then go over that with some eyeshadow to seal it in. If you need to adhere any gems or symbols to yourself, I like to use a mixture of lash glue or fashion tape to stick them to myself. It may seem a little bit silly, but practicing facial expressions in the mirror is a great way to get into character and to also know what poses you want to do for photos. If you are going to be wearing contact lenses during the convention or photo shoot, bring some eye drops just in case. And I also like to use a tissue if I don't have any blotting sheets to just blot any oil and then go over that with some face powder. So you've managed to survive in cosplay, congratulations, and now it's time to rip that wig off and take off the lashes. Coconut oil is fantastic for getting rid of makeup, especially stubborn waterproof makeup. I also like using face wipes and also a gel cleanser to get rid of the rest of my makeup, and then I make sure to moisturize with a really hydrating cream. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any other tips or tricks yourself, let me know. Until the next video, bye!